Hello, welcome back as we embark upon our journey to cover all the buttons in Autodesk Inventor, and in this video we're in part mode, 3D model, and then the pattern panel, this one here. So we're looking at sketch driven, circular, rectangular and mirror. As per all the other videos, this is not a tutorial, it's not a follow me along guide. I'm going to have to try my hardest to not explain what everything is, but it's just a brief demo / explanation of what the buttons are for new starters who need to understand what each button does. And if you want to see more videos from this series as I eventually cover everything in every button, then do get subscribed with notifications on, and YouTube might notify you when I release the next video, which is probably going to be free for me, isn't it? Right, patterns. So the whole point of a pattern is to take an existing 3D object, like a feature, whether that be a cut, like this one here, or an entire body, like that heat fin thing here, and then create a uniformed copy of it. Saves you having to model it again, if you know what I mean. If you need to create like 40 of these spaced like this, you wouldn't want to do that sketch 40 times, would you, mate? No, you'd want to pattern it. So that's the whole point in pattern. So we've got 4 different kinds of pattern. We've got a rectangular, circular, sketch driven and a mirror. And we'll start looking at rectangular. Right, the way this works is you can pattern either individual features like this here, and then you can say pattern that feature along in a direction. Say, let's go in that direction. Give me, I don't know, 5 of them and spaced out between 5 mil, for example, and then that creates your pattern. Once your pattern's done, in your browser you'll get a rectangular pattern node where you can go in and you can suppress any of the patterns. Like if you want to get rid of the end hole, you can do, or you want to get rid of the middle holes, you can do, and you can go back into the pattern and change its parameters if you want to as well. So that's a simple rectangular pattern of a feature, but you can also do a rectangular pattern of an entire body or an entire solid. So this entire fin here is a separate body in the part with its little tab on top. So we can pattern that if we want to, and then we can say, right, the direction is going to be that edge there. So we can pick that edge there, tell it to flip it around, say I want 44 of them spaced out over, well, that's a good point, mate. We can say measure the distance between that point and that point, which is an existing pattern that's already been done, and it'll give us 44 instances of that body, and there you go. It's a pattern of an entire solid rather than just a feature. Now a solid can be a combination of features. It could be like 5 extrusions and 2 holes combined into a body, and then you can pattern that entire body rather than pick up the individual features. So that's quite nice. I do like that. Right, there's a couple of other different ways of doing a rectangular pattern as well. These are worth pointing out because they're quite clever. So if we go back into rectangular pattern, and I tell you what I need to do is make this extruded cut first. So we'll cut that through to the next face here, and we'll do a rectangular pattern. If you're wondering how I'm like slickly, smoothly orbiting around like this, which saves buttload of time, it's a 3D mouse, mate. 3D connection mouse. I've done a video on that. Do a search on my channel on how do I orbit so smoothly and you'll see how. Right, so rectangular pattern, for example, we can pick up this feature, and apologize for this like disco white line show that's going on. Now, this is awful. This is something that Autodesk need to do something about. It's terrible. And we're going to select the direction. Now, rather than select an edge, you can actually, if you want to, pick a sketch line. So I've sketched a center line running through this flat face. So I can pick that sketch line, and then instead of a spacing, pick curve length and ask for like 20. See what it's doing? It's patterning along the sketch line, but you can see it's sort of poking out there, and that's because it's starting there. The object's starting there, but the pattern's actually starting from there. So it's sort of patterning as if the first hole was there. So it's like there, and then it goes down. So instead of putting up with that nonsense, you can just change the start point to be there, for example, and then off you trot, and then you end up with this one at the bottom. But as per the last example, we can go to the last occurrence and suppress that off, and then there you go. That's patterning along a sketch line using curve length, which is quite nice. We've got mirror. Mirror's quite nice as well. Mirror's pretty simple. It creates a mirror. What do you want me to say? But what you need is a center line. So you can use plane to define a center line, and then say, give me a mirror of all of these patterns, and then the mirror plane would be that, and then it'll mirror them down to there, which is nice. That's nice. So that's mirror. Now we've got a couple of other different types of pattern. We've got a circular pattern and a sketch driven pattern. So let's have a look at circular pattern. If we go to plug, I've got a hole here which I want to create like a PCD of around here. It's dead simple, really simple. I know it's frustrating when you hear someone doing a tutorial say, oh, it's dead simple and easy, and you're like, well mate, you're the expert, I'm just learning, so will you stop saying it's simple? But this actually really is simple. What you do is say, give me a circular pattern, pick your feature, pick your rotation axis, which is usually the center face, or you can pick an axis if you want to, if the Z axis or the Y axis works, but it's often easier to just pick a cylindrical face, and then there you go. In AutoCAD terms, this would be a polar array, and then you can say give me 8 copies of the whole. You can change the angle if you want to. If you just want to pattern it around 90 degrees, you can do. Most people, I suspect, would be familiar with this. Click OK, and then there's your pattern, mate. So that's patterning a feature, but as you could do with the rectangular pattern, you can also do a circular pattern of the entire body. So I can create like an axis. This is a good example. I just released a video the other day of work features and why you'd use work features. Well, this is another example of work features. Our standard origin features all go through the middle of here, like there. So I want to pattern all of this around an axis around here. So I can create a work axis intersecting that point parallel or normal to that plane there. And then we can say, give me a circular pattern of the entire body, that entire thing. And the rotation axis is going to be that. I want 6 of them. And then there you go. And that patterns the entire body. And that's a circular pattern, right? The final type of pattern is a sketch-driven pattern. This, you can do all kinds of groovy shizzle with this, man. It's awesome. So I've got this shape here, which looks like a beaten up apple. And we're going to use it to demonstrate sketch-driven. Now, sketch-driven is normally something you do on a flat face. You can see the thumbnail slash squared picture there showing a flat face, and what it does is it looks into a sketch for points, sketch points, and then it will allow you to pattern a 3D object along where you've predefined points on a flat face. But we can be quite creative with this. I could show you that, but that would be pretty boring, so I'm going to use a 3D sketch on a weird sort of funky freeform object for this. So I'm going to jump into a 3D sketch, and I'm going to use curve on face to draw a spline which is going along this curved face. And we're going to go up, and then we'll go down, and then we'll come back along, something like that. So that's given us a spline touching that curved face, which is quite creative. You can really get quite creative with this. And then once that's done, we can put a point. Well, we'll put, I don't know, just a handful of points along here. In production, if this was for production, you would put dimensions on these points to make sure that they were evenly spaced out, but I'm not interested in that. As long as we've just got points, finish that sketch up, and that's where we want to put a 3D pattern along these points. Okie dokie, right, we need something to actually pattern though, so what we can do is use work features to maybe put an axis through there, put a point between that axis and that face. And if you sat there going, wait, slow down, I did say at the start, this is not a follow me along, mate. It's just me getting to the point where I'm going to be doing the patterns. So we're going to put a hole on there, going through there, and then let's say, in fact, that's probably fine. So that's tapping a hole. Let's turn off these work features. That's tapping a hole through that funky surface on that first point. So I want to pattern that hole on each one of these points that I created in the 3D sketch. There, there, and there. And that's quite difficult to do for many reasons, but Inventor's got you covered here, mate, man. That's really clever. So we're going to go into sketch-driven pattern, pick up our hole, and it's going to drop a new instance of a hole on each one of these points. But you can see what it's doing. It's keeping the orientation of the drill direction on each of the points. So by the time it gets around here, it's actually like the hole's practically upside down. And that's just not going to work. What we could do is use these reference bits here. So we can say reference that base point there, and then reference the face. And look at that, man. Look at that. As it starts drilling each hole, it's referencing the face that it's on, and it's orientating the actual hole to be parallel with the face at the point of opening, which is really nice. It might give us some weird results, but we'll see what happens when we click OK. And it looks like it's come out absolutely perfectly. I mean, how amazing is that? Imagine what you could do with that now that you know you can do that. It's just amazing. So yes, it's pretty simple to do sketch-driven patterns for flat faces, but using, you know, a combination of tools like 3D Sketch, Curve on Face, work features, you can do some funky stuff with that, mate. That's a sketch-driven pattern. It patterns a 3D feature, not just a hole. It can be an actual solid object, create the creation of an extrusion or a revolve or anything, and you can pattern it along predefined points on a curved face if you want. So, and then yeah, that's it. I think we've got, and then the next up. No, that's it, mate. That's it. That's all the pattern features that we're going to look at today. Next video is probably going to be create freeform stuff, where it might take a while to do this one because it takes you off into a whole bunch of new buttons. But yeah, that's for another day. That's future Neil's problem. Right, thanks very much, and I'll see you in the next one.